Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Naruto Chapter 595 review. Now, this chapter of Naruto, overall, it's a simple fight. It's a fight between Tobi against Kakashi, Might Guy, and Naruto. And basically, the main function of Kakashi and Guy is to provide support to create an opening for Naruto to use his Rasengans, or in this case, his miniature Bijudama, which was kind of cool, but not as cool as the miniature Rasen Shuriken. That was cool, because the way we see Naruto in that chapter, where we see two little miniature hands stick out of the finger, that was cool. So props to the miniature Rasen Shuriken. The miniature Bijudama still requires 2 clones, so it's okay. It's okay. You know, not the greatest thing, but it's okay. And then we have Killer B, who is still in the fight, but Killer B himself is playing major support. Like, he was in the back. He was in the back just doing shit. You know, he lifted Kakashi, he threw Kakashi. That's all he did. But basically, this fight can be broken down into the Might Guy section, and then the Kakashi section, and then the Kakashi section, where basically we see them support Naruto in the fight. And I originally thought that this was gonna be a one-on-one fight, but no. This is ninja shit, and ninjas, you know, they team up because they have the advantage. So what happens here is that Naruto starts off, goes in there, goes to the, you know, miniature Bijudama, and then Madara basically he counters everything that they do. He counters everything. At some point, Guy takes over and then starts doing some crazy stuff. And it was kind of cool, too. Because at some point, Guy's turned around. And then, Tobi, he has his fan. And he throws the fan at him. And my guy blocks that shit like this. Like, block. I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, that was cool. That was cool. And then we have, and then there's one part where Naruto takes advantage. He has the miniature Bijudama. He's pulling some stretching stuff with, like, the actual, like, he's actually extending his reach with the QB's chakra, but he keeps on missing. He keeps on missing. And at the same time, what happens here is that Kakashi tries and use his Mangekyou Sharingan to take out the Mazo statue. But that does not work, because we don't know why. But for some reason, his Mangekyou Sharingan's ability was negated by either the Mazo statue or by Tobi. We're not too sure what happened, but at first it was gonna get sucked into, like, the actual void, and then, like, it just stopped. It just stopped. So I'm not too sure. I have a theory on that, but I'll get into that later. And then what happens here is that, you know, like, Naruto goes on the assault once more, and then Tobi continues to block, and then at some point Naruto gets caught almost off guard. But then Killer B and Kakashi, they see this, so Killer B throws Kakashi at Tobi, where Kakashi actually enhances the kunai and makes a kunai lightning, like, saber thing, and starts lunging towards Tobi. Then he throws it. At the same time, Naruto goes for, like, a QB punch, and then what happens here? This is kind of cool. All right, I'm not gonna lie, this is cool. What happens here is that the Thunder Kunai goes right through Tobi's head, okay? Then Tobi kicks that shit at Naruto. And I was like, oh shit. And then Kakashi uses the Mangekyou Sharingan to stop the kunai. And then Naruto goes for the punch. And I'm like, you know, like, that was impressive stuff. But then what happens is that at the right moment, Tobi once again becomes translucent, and then the punch goes right through him. And then right now, Kakashi, Naruto, and Guy are trying to figure out how the hell are we going to actually touch Tobi. And that right there is the end of the chapter. So overall, this chapter, simply put, is just a fight. Now, I do want to say two things. Two things and I'm done, alright? Because, again, there's no real, you know, speculation, no real what the fucks or, you know, holy shits. Basically, it's a fight. So the first thing I want to say here is that when we see that Kakashi's Sharingan technique will not work on the Mazo statue, this may have to do with the fact that the Mazo statue is becoming the progenitor of all things that exist in the Naruto world, meaning the Ten Tails. Because if you remember, when we see the first image of the Ten Tails has a big-ass eyeball. And that eyeball had the combination of the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. So, if my deduction is right, that means that the Ten Tails itself was the origin of both the Rinnegan and the Sharingan. Meaning that if the Ten Tails is the origin of the Sharingan and the Rinnegan, this would mean that the Ten Tails has absolute control over any abilities that would affiliate with the Rinnegan and the Sharingan. Meaning that the Ten Tails could possibly do Rinnegan and Sharingan stuff. At the same time, the Ten Tails could probably negate Rinnegan and Sharingan stuff. Because it is the Progenitor. So, why not? You know, I mean, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. Because you have to remember that I have no idea how the Sage of Six Paths beat the Progenitor of all things that exist in the Naruto world. But when he did, he gained the chakra, and he may have gained the Rinnegan through that point in time. Because we don't know when he got the Rinnegan. When we see, no, never mind. You know, no. I'm not gonna rant. I'm not gonna go in. I'll do that in another video. But basically, that could be the reason as to why Kakashi's Sharingan technique is not working. Then the next thing I noticed is that even though Toby has a Rinnegan, he's not doing Rinnegan shit. He's not. He's still doing the same shit we've seen since day one. And it's kind of like, what's going on? Because he hasn't pulled any he hasn't pulled any Astropath stuff, any Animal Realm stuff, any God Realm stuff. He hasn't pulled any of that stuff. So it's like I would expect an Almighty Push here and there, or a Chubaku Tensei, or to absorb chakra. You know, like, but he hasn't done any of that stuff. So it's kind of like, what's going on? Because honest to God, like, if Naruto did his, you know, miniature Bijudama, and if Toby actually had the skills of a Rinnegan user, then he could have actually, like, absorbed the chakra right then and there and called it a day. But he's not doing that. He's still doing the same shit over and over again. So it's kind of disappointing. Yeah, I'll admit to you, it is kind of disappointing. So, but you know, whatever. But that being said, oh yeah, and one more thing. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say it because it does involve Minato and how Minato, you know, I'm gonna say it, right? Minato beat the Masked Man, which was Toby, which had the same techniques. And yet here we have these three, Naruto, Uzumaki, Might Guy, and Kakashi, and they can't even touch Toby. So maybe this would imply that Naruto himself is not at the same skill level of Namikaze Minato. Maybe Naruto Uzumaki, even though he dodged the Raikage's punch, maybe he's just not fast enough. You know, just saying. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there. So, with that being said, the King of Lightning, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Signing off.